Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to talk about something that's super important but, often overlooked, the locks on your doors. Knowing the difference between a few common types could honestly be the key to keeping your home truly secure. So let's dive in.
So let me ask you this. When you leave the house, you close the door, you hear that satisfying click, and you assume you're safe, right? But is that click really enough? We're about to find out if your door is just shut or if it's genuinely properly secure.
And here's why this is so important. This isn't just about physical security. The type of lock you have on your front door can directly affect your home insurance. Seriously, if you get burgled and your locks don't meet your policy standard, your insurer might just refuse to pay out. This is about your safety and your financial protection. Okay, so to get you completely up to speed, here's our plan. We'll start with that big question. Is your door secure? Then we'll get into the big three lock types you'll find everywhere, talk about a huge threat called lock snapping, and decode the all-important BS 3621 insurance standard. Then we'll wrap it all up in your ultimate lock guide.
Right. Let's get into the hardware. If you live in the UK, it's almost a guarantee that your front or back door has one of these three main locking systems. So let's start with a real classic.
First up is the mortise lock. The name comes from the mortise, which is just the pocket or slot that's cut into the edge of the door where the lock body sits. This means it's hidden away, which makes it really strong and pretty discreet. It's the go-to choice for traditional wooden doors for a reason.
Now, mortise locks basically come in two main flavors. A mortise deadlock is all about security. It's just a solid bolt that you can only move with a key, no handle involved. A mortise sesh lock, on the other hand, combines that deadbolt with a latch and handle, so you can pop the door closed without actually having to lock it every time.
So how can you tell if your mortise lock is actually any good? Well, here's a super quick check. Your insurance company will almost always demand a 5-lever lock as a minimum. If you look at yours and it says it's a 3-lever lock, well, that's a huge red flag. That needs upgrading immediately. The very best ones will also have that British standard kite mark, which we'll get to in just a minute.
All right, on to our second type, the Euro cylinder. If you've got a modern UPVC or composite door, the white plastic ones or the newer, fancier looking ones, then you've almost certainly got one of these. It's that familiar lock you put your key into, which then operates all the other locking points up and down the door. And the third member of our big three is the rim cylinder lock. But honestly, pretty much everyone just calls it a Yale lock. This is the one that's mounted on the inside surface of your door and automatically latches when you pull it shut. It's incredibly convenient for sure, but, and this is a big but, it should never be the only lock on your front door.
And this is exactly why. There's a world of difference between a standard night latch and its high-security big brother. The standard one is, well, basic, but the BS 3621 version is insurer-approved and has a fantastic feature called auto-deadlocking. This is what prevents that old credit card slip trick, making it way more secure.
Okay, let's just hit pause here for a moment because we need to talk about a single critical threat that affects millions of homes, especially those with those Euro cylinder locks we just mentioned. We're talking about lock snapping.
And believe me, that is not an exaggeration. A burglar can apply force to a standard cylinder, snap it clean in two, and get to the mechanism to unlock your door in less than a minute. It's quiet, it's fast, and it is alarmingly effective.
The process itself is just brutally simple. As you can see, it's a 3-step attack. Force is applied, usually with very basic tools, causing the cylinder to break at its weakest point. Once it's snapped, the central part that operates the lock is exposed and can be easily turned. Your entire multi-point locking system is now totally useless.
But, and this is the good news, there is a clear and direct solution. The security industry fought back against this threat by developing anti-snap cylinders. These are brilliantly designed with a built-in weak point that breaks away but leaves the core mechanism completely intact, keeping your door locked and secure.
So if you have a UPVC or composite door, these are the magic words. When you talk to a locksmith, you need to ask for a cylinder that meets either the TS007 3-star rating or the even tougher Sold Secure Diamond standard. These are your absolute guarantee of protection against snapping. Now, let's see how all of this ties back to your insurance. We've mentioned it a few times, but it's time to properly introduce the single most important standard in the world of UK locks, BS 3621.
So, what is it? Well, BS 3621 is basically a stamp of approval from the British Standards Institution. It certifies that a lock has been rigorously tested against common break-in techniques like drilling and picking. For insurers, it's the gold standard for security, and having locks that meet it is often a non-negotiable part of your policy.
And the best part is, you can check this yourself right now. Go on, open your door and look at the metal strip on the edge. You're looking for the BSI kite mark, that's that little heart-shaped symbol, and the number BS3621 engraved right there on the plate. If you see it, you know your lock is insurance approved. You're golden.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. We've looked at the different lock types, the major threats, and the standards you need to know. So now, let's bring it all together into a final, super easy-to-use security blueprint. This table pretty much says it all. You can see right away that a 3-lever mortise lock is only for internal doors. It is absolutely not secure enough for an external door, and it's not insurance approved. For your main wooden door, you want a 5-lever mortise or a BS 3621 night latch. And for any UPVC or composite door, that anti-snap Euro cylinder is really the only choice.
So, to put it as simply as possible, here is the gold standard. For a wooden door, the best protection you can get is a BS 3621 approved 5-lever mortise deadlock. And for a modern UPVC or composite door, it's that whole multi-point locking system, but, and this is the crucial part, it has to be fitted with a TS007 3-star anti-snap cylinder to be truly secure.
And that really brings us to the end. We've demystified the tech, we've decoded all the jargon, and we've laid out the standards. The only question left is the one that really matters. Now that you know exactly what to look for, does the lock on your front door actually make the cut?